arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Today we're going to be doing my 30-second chill and chat live stream about Arcade1up, home arcades, and looking forward to getting this started. This has been a really busy week for home arcade, especially Arcade1up. We've had more releases in 1 week and leaks and information than we've probably had over the last year. So today it's been, a lot of work trying to get everything prepared, and I probably still won't be able to cover it all because we only have like an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half to do it. And there's really more to discuss than what we have time to do. But we're going to try to fit in as much as we can within this time. I do want to first say hi to everyone who has joined us in the chat. I'm happy that everyone has made it. But one more thing that I'm even more happy about than the people that have made it is seeing PD7's super chat saying congratulations on 1,000 Biggie D. He has sent in a $4.99 super chat to me today, and I sure appreciate that, PD7. That's going to go towards my channel. Like I've told everyone, any super chats, any donations, anything like that, that's going towards the channel. So if I get a better camera or I get a better microphone, some of that money that you're donating or you're super chatting will go towards those things to make the channel better. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Be upfront and honest about anything that you guys super chat me will go right back into this channel to just make it better, give you guys a better viewing experience and a better time watching. But definitely PD7, I know as you as well, you're very close to 1,000. Last I checked, you were only 11 away. So if anyone out there, if you're on YouTube and you like home arcade content, or you just like vlogging, where video blogging, where you're walking around town and looking at different shops and retro stuff, PD7's the guy. Definitely check him out. Give him a sub. He is very close to 1,000 himself. Also, I saw Papa Brad's Gaming. He's a new member. Very cool that you joined, Papa Brad. It's 99 cents to join. I just started this week. I'm going to definitely do shout outs during the live streams for any members. Definitely put an emphasis on any chats that you put in the live chat for being a member. So that's kind of the only benefit I have right now, are the shout outs and just the priority on, the chats right now. But I'm hoping in the future with the memberships doing exclusive videos that are member only videos, or maybe you get exclusive access to a video before the general public does or a subscriber does. So those are things I'm looking into that I don't quite have set up on the member platform yet, but I am working on it. So I've started out with just 99 cents a month. Very simple, just the entry level, which is 99 cents a month. That way you can support the channel, and you can be a member, and you can get, also I had added some emojis. So there are some special emojis for the members that they can use in the live chats. Just throw that out there for you guys. But let's go ahead and say hi to everyone who's made it so far and who's in the chat. Jason M's here. He's saying, looking forward to the show tonight, boss. That was earlier today. Cornercade's in the chat. Biggie D, let's get going. Let's go, dude. Good to see Cornercade. He's got his own live streams going on his channel now. It looks like it's going to be happening on a pretty regular basis. I think there's one happening tomorrow. Really cool stuff happening on the Cornercade's channel. Papa Brad's Gaming, hello gamers. Carl O is here. JJ is here as well. He says, hey Biggie D, how's your weekend going? That Atari 50th that everyone is hating on isn't that bad in my opinion. I'm sure Atari went to them and said, hey, would you want to build this? And they said that they did. And I think you're right on the money with that as far as how this all happened. And we're going to get into the 50th anniversary and why it looks the way it looks. But that's on the schedule for tonight. Made in Canada says, let's rock. Good to see you. Ritual Delo's here. Harry X. Stardust is here. Papa Brad's using the new emojis that you get as a member. And also Mad Astra Gaming. Thank you. He's super chatted me $1.99. Congrats on the on the super chat, on the subscriber milestone. I really appreciate that $1.99. And I appreciate the congratulations on 1,000. It is a long road. I started the channel 10 months ago. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication, but I've seen the growth. Like I go back and look at some of my older videos, and then I look at the one like I did yesterday, and my editing skills have gotten better. As far as like what I know about home arcade has really grown too. Like doing this every day and, you know, doing shows every week and all that. You just don't really see how far you've come until you go back and you look at where the channel started. So I appreciate that. It is a big milestone. Definitely sure it is. I appreciate that. Goofy Foot's here as well. He says, hey, Biggie. Harry X is congratulating on that 1K as well. Carl O, subbed to you both 3 times. Appreciate that. Carl. Jason M, he has also sent in a super chat as well. I super appreciate that super chat, Jason, of $10. That's a big one. Kudos on reaching 1K, honest, down to earth, no drama, and not attention seeking. Keep up the good work, brother. I really appreciate that. So yeah, always try to stay honest. So like when I'm delivering this information, you know, live on air or through my videos, I'm always just giving you my raw opinion on what I think. Some things I, you know, write down and prepare. Some things I just think of spur of the moment on the live stream and I'll say it. But I always try to do that. I don't hold back on anything I say. And it's been working out. We've been getting a lot of really good information on this channel before, you know, anyone else hears about it, because I'm speculating or, you know, whatever I'm discussing, I'm pretty accurate on ahead of time. And then the down to earth, no drama. We don't ever want to have the drama on the channel. If I ever, you know, see anyone in the chat that's treating someone unfairly or being rude to someone else, I definitely want the moderators to take care of that, because this is not a channel for drama. You know, there are drama channels out there. There is drama within the community, and you may see me comment on some of those channels when they're talking about it, but I don't bring it onto this channel. And that's just a decision I made early on, and I've stuck with it. Donovan's here as well. He's saying, hey, Biggie, hope your weekend is great. Had a really good weekend. I got a chill and chat in today, but yesterday I did a walk and talk, which I got outside, went to a really cool arcade in Tempe, Arizona, and that was a lot of fun. Bad guy Mike Worley's here. He's saying, what's up, guys? Congrats on 1,000 subs, Biggie. Carl O is now a member. So we've now got Papa Brad and Carl O as our first 2 members, 99 cents. Super appreciate you know, you becoming a member and taking advantage of those emojis. I hope to see those in the chat now that you guys are members. Quartercade says, thank you for the shout out. Travis MCP said he'd join us tomorrow, so fingers crossed. That's really cool, Quartercade. You're going to get Travis MCP because he's really part of Arcade1up. He doesn't work directly for them, but he works side and side, you know, hand in hand with them. So he has a lot of really good information. Maybe you can dig on some of that stuff and get us some answers we've been wanting. I know we got some tonight on Bkong's live stream. I was listening to that earlier, and I had a couple of notes I was going to discuss from that tonight. Stardust says, I do like the gold T-molding on the 50th. That does look good. The T-molding is excellent. But as far as the artwork, we're going to get into that. Not super happy with the artwork. Made in Canada's here. I also saw PD7 has donated and gifted some memberships. So I appreciate that. It looks like he gifted one to Carlo, and that's how he had received that. That's really cool, you PD7. So let's get going, guys. Pretty much said hi to everyone. If I missed anyone, I apologize. But let's get going. So the very first subject we're going to be discussing tonight is this Atari 50th. So it just kind of came out of nowhere. It was very late on, I think it was Thursday evening, or it may have been Wednesday evening. Can't remember which one now, but it was like 3 o'clock in the morning for Michael B. It was about 11 o'clock here, and the news broke of this new Atari 50th anniversary edition, which was listed on the Wayfair website. And so we got all the full details of it. It's like a regular listing, just like what you would see, you know, if you were surfing the internet and you were looking to go purchase an Arcade1up on their website, you would see their listing. So I got some pretty good images here of what this thing's going to look like. And what they've done is they've taken this design, and the design has come from the Atari 50th anniversary celebration. So this 50th anniversary celebration, it all started in November of last year when Atari started releasing products that were going to be about this 50th anniversary. So you could get like a Switch game, and you could get like a deluxe edition with a bunch of extras. And that's kind of where it all started. Well, at some point along the way, Arcade1up has gotten in contact with Atari, or Atari got in contact with Arcade1up and said, let's collaborate on doing our Atari promotion, our 50th anniversary promotion on one of your cabinets. And this is the result. This is what we're getting. Now, some things I like about it. So I'm going to pause it here just on this screenshot here so we can take a look at this overall, see what we're looking at. And, you know, I said in the past, I like black, right? You see a lot of black on my cabinets. I've mentioned in the past that I really, when I'm shopping for these, I look for ones that fit in my game room, and I do like black. I think they took it overboard with this. When they took my advice, I didn't mean for them to literally make the entire thing black like this. This is just not, it doesn't look good. I'll just be blunt with you. It doesn't look good. It's god awful. It's not something that I'm at all attracted to as far as the look of this cabinet and the artwork on it. Now, I've heard some people out there say they do like the artwork on it, but majority of the people that I've heard said they are also in agreement with me that they dislike this artwork. It's just very plain, for one. You know, we're really just looking at 2 or 3 colors. You know, so we're not getting a mix of, or a variety of colors on this cabinet. It's very plain. Also, it's got the Atari logo. It's got the really big Atari logo, but they're cutting off almost half of that logo. And then these 50s. I saw a video out there this week where he had mentioned this, where there's just 50s all over it. And I agree with that person on that. You know, you got to limit to maybe one of those 50s would have been okay. Maybe the one on the side panel, or maybe the one in the marquee would have worked. But to have 4 or 5 of these all over the cabinet, even on the game deck, it's just way too much. So early on, this was Wednesday or Thursday night, we had heard through the live stream, B. Kongs and Michael B. were talking about this cabinet, and they had mentioned, well, what if we get an Asteroids artwork on this? Because they had pointed out that the cabinet design does match the Asteroids cabinet. It's almost identical. So if you slap the Asteroids artwork on the side, it may make it look better, or maybe Arcade1up in the future will make an Asteroids version of this. Maybe this is just the first version, because somewhere in the fine print or something in the agreement they had with Atari required them to use this initially. Maybe they have other options on the second version or the third version of this that they do later on. But will it sell? I mean, that's the question. It doesn't really matter what I think or what I think it looks like, because, you know, I'm not going to purchase this. But is it going to sell? That's what matters. Is this going to appeal to a mass audience, a large group of people that would be interested in this cabinet? That's left to be determined. I mean, it does have a really good games list on it. It's got 14 games, I believe, which we saw here. Let's see, right here. Here's your 14 games included: Centipede, Tempest, Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, Millipede, Crystals, Castles, Air, Duel. The print is a little small on this. I think I got here somewhere. Here we go. Maybe it'll tell us here the exact games list. Yes, it does, right here. So Centipede, Major Havoc, Missile Command, Aka Arch, Crystal Castles, Tempest, Millipede, Gravatar, Liberator, Asteroids Deluxe, Space Duel, Super Breakout, and Lunar Lander. But what really stood out to me on this cabinet wasn't those 14 games, because we've seen those before, is the 2600 Atari games. We're getting 40 of those. So we're getting 54 games total, because we're getting 40 Atari 2600 games plus 14 of these games, which are like your marquee games. So I think you're getting a huge amount of games compared to other Arcade1ups we've seen in the past. 54 games in total. Granted, 40 of these are those 2600 games, which do we really count those as games? I mean, they are individual games, and we don't yet know what those games will be. But that's a lot. That's 54, and that's more than we've ever seen before on an Arcade1up cabinet. So they are making progress. Let's look at the positive in that the fact that Arcade1up is making progress in certain areas. We are getting larger game or more games, larger game list. And another thing I'm happy with, so I want to throw out another positive, is the game deck on this cabinet. I think it looks pretty good as far as like the way it's laid out. Now, I don't want to say that I like the artwork on the game deck because that 50 looks horrible. But as far as the controls, I do like the controls and what they've done with that. You get that joystick, you get your 6 buttons, you get your trackball, your spinner. It looks like we're going to get a light up live button. I think it said we can turn the lights on and off on these lit up buttons. So I think also those white buttons will be lit up as well, plus 2 volcano buttons. So this is a pretty cool innovation, a new game deck, something we haven't seen before. So those are some positives, right? We got a couple of positives. We got a games list that looks pretty good, and we've got a new game deck with some new controls that look pretty good. We've even heard someone in the chat mention that they like the T-molding. The gold T-molding looks good. But, you know, the artwork is the one thing I can't look past. Also, I heard Bkongs mention this as well, is that they're using this with this new deluxe design without the riser. They're bringing the coin door down lower now. So you guys will see that coin door is about halfway down now. So it's really sitting at about your knees. A coin door should be closer up by the game deck so you could easily put a coin in. So if you're wanting to feel realistic, that coin door is a little lower with these deluxe cabinets. Now, we don't know what the marquee is going to look like. There's still so many questions because we haven't actually seen one up close. We're just looking at this listing. So let's see what the chat here has to say about it. This just broke a couple of days ago, and I haven't really gotten too deep into this cabinet. I don't think really anyone has. Asteroids Deluxe Reskin, that's a must. Papa Brad's Gaming says weird button layout. So I like the button layout, Papa Brad. I'm surprised you're saying that you didn't like it, but each to their own. And, you know, we're used to the at-games controls where we have a lot of room on the game deck. So we're also comparing it to that. Stardust, he's saying maybe if it was only limited to 50 cabinets, maybe it would have been more sought after. Yeah, if they only do 50 of these on a 50th anniversary, that probably would be sought after. Even if no one likes it, it would still be worth money because it's so limited. Jason M, he's saying, we'll have a different future skin. So who would buy this over Asteroids except the CEO of Atari? Yeah, they're going to have to get rid of these, and they're going to have to get to that next version, which they're going to have to use authentic artwork. I think they've heard that over the last few days, and I hope that they're listening. You know, we want authentic artwork over this type of stuff. And, you know, these may end up on a clearance rack or something, and they may have to, you know, I would have liked to seen them leak this before it actually got to production. I think their best bet with these types of things is to get a leak out there, kind of like they did with Time Crisis, or kind of like we're seeing with some other cabinets beforehand. That way we can give our critique and what we don't like, and then they can redesign it from there. This, we had no clue it was coming out. We had no warning. We had no heads up on this. We just saw the listing. This thing's already in production. So it's too late at this point. Mike Cockherds, Donovan's saying, I liked it, but had no plans to buy it. But now that everyone hates it, I kind of want to add it to my collection. I think there'll be a lot of people out there that are going to get this. Even if they don't like the artwork, they're probably going to get it for the games lineup if they're an Atari fan and they like the Atari games. And it is easy to, we see in the community, it's very easy to change the artwork. It's not a difficult thing to do. We've got a lot of sources for that to modify those things. Mike Hawkhurt says, hi guys, any guesses on when Time Crisis is going to be announced officially? I heard we're very close, and that's a good question, Mike Hawkhurt. I've got that lined up for the show tonight. So we'll be hitting that subject here in just a minute. And let's see here. Jason M says, for the 50th, they should have done a dedicated vertical and a dedicated horizontal. With the purchase of Stern Games, they could have even done a horizontal with Berserk now. And Goofy says, what's the list of 2,600 games? I haven't looked anything up about this cabinet. So we still don't know Goofy what the 2,600 games list is. We just know that there's 40 of them. And that's where we're reading right here in the description. So let's just kind of go through this description. It's 17-inch BOE monitor, Wi-Fi connection. So we're going to get the leaderboards, light up marquee. Hopefully that looks good. We're getting the light up buttons, faux molded coin door. Doesn't look like we're going to get the lit coin door buttons or the pressable coin door slots. It doesn't appear. And then we're getting a certificate of authenticity as well. So we saw this. So this is what we call a Vault Edition. So just like the NBA Deluxe Edition Vault, it was getting a certificate of authenticity as well, I believe. And then this one will as well. So that's going to be like a Vault Edition thing. And these are a metal certificate of authenticity. It's like a plaque. So that's something new that they're doing, like an extra we're getting. Yeah, so that's our 50th anniversary Atari Arcade1up cabinet. And this is going to release here very soon. I think this is releasing in October, if I was right on that. So we're only a couple months away from its release. This was actually a leak. I don't think Arcade1up meant for any of this information to get out when it did. But next I want to get into EVO. So EVO is going to be happening this week, and that's going to be starting on August the 3rd, and it's going to go through August the 6th. I heard B-Kong mention earlier August the 4th is when it starts, but from what I've read, it does start on the 3rd. Now, it may be limited on the 3rd, on Thursday. The event may really kick off on Friday. But it's coming up here in just a few days. And why do I mention EVO? I mean, we're not in the fighting game community. Majority of us here are focused, I believe, on home arcade. We do enjoy fighting games, but we're not like fighting game enthusiasts on this channel where that's all we talk about. But EVO, that's all it's about, right? It's all about competitive fighting games, and more so the modern fighting games. At Games Cadians has joined us as well. He says, I hope people buy it. Let's see it in person. And that's a good point. Let's see it when we actually get hands-on with it. We're just looking at those renders right now. And Endangered Dog, he's saying, what's up? And Steps has made it. Looks fantastic. Atari 50. I did think I heard you say that you liked it, Steps, on your video. And then Kurt is here as well. Good to see you, Kurt. So now we're getting into EVO, and this will be August 3rd through the 6th. So it starts Thursday. It'll go through Saturday. Now, these are the games. So if you're looking at entries for the fighting games that people are going to be competing with each other against, and these are going to be the games and the entries we've seen so far. So Street Fighter is dominating by far. Street Fighter 6, of course, because it's a new game. It was just released recently. So all the interest is in, Street Fighter 6 right now. So there's over 7,000 people entered into that. And then we got Guilty Gear Strive, Tekken 7, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Dragon Ball Fighters Z, The King of Fighters, Melty Blood, and Mortal Kombat 11. I see Mortal Kombat 11 so far down there, and that's because we got Mortal Kombat 1 coming, but that's not quite out yet. So maybe next EVO we'll see that towards the top of the list, the new Mortal Kombat. But we see Street Fighter up at the top, right, guys? So that's dominating. And that's the point of this slide, and the reason I brought it out is this EVO is all going to be about Street Fighter this year. And what's key about Street Fighter is Arcade1up has a very good relationship with Capcom, and they make a lot of Street Fighter cabinets. Well, we learned, and actually I prepared this slide prior to B-Kong's stream, but prior to my show, and so happens I was kind of going into this with some speculation saying that Arcade1up and Capcom were going to be in the booth together at EVO, because we saw last year that they were in like a hotel room in the back showing off Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Well, this year they're not doing that. This year they're actually in a booth on the floor, and they're in the Capcom booth. And we got confirmation on that from Travis MCP during the stream before me on Kongs R Us. So that was going to be speculation on my part when I made this slide this afternoon, but I got confirmation on that in the stream before me that this is indeed happening. So bank on it. When you get to EVO, go to the Capcom booth, and Arcade1up will be there. They're going to have their section there. Now, we don't know what's going to be in that booth. We don't know what is going to happen there yet. So I wanted to speculate on that. So they're going to release a new cabinet, and it's going to be a Capcom cabinet. Now, Capcom beat 'em up at an EVO, not likely. A Capcom fighting cabinet at EVO, very likely. It's either going to be a deluxe cabinet or it's going to be a Pro Series. Or it could be an XL. I didn't put XL in there, but it could be. It could be one of three things. It could be a deluxe, an XL, or a Pro Series. We've been seeing a lot of deluxe cabinets. Pretty much everything right now is deluxe, except for that Pac-Man XL. So we got to start getting some XLs or some Pros very soon to kind of even things out. So I think this Capcom cabinet we're going to get at EVO is going to be a larger one. Now, if it ends up being deluxe, I'm covering myself here. I'm saying it very well easily could be deluxe as well. We could continue with that deluxe design. Now, this was last year. So in 2022, right before EVO, Street Fighter II Yoga Flame Shinku Edition, or Shinku Hadouken Edition, pictured in this image, were announced. And these were announced prior to EVO, about 2 to 3 weeks before EVO started. However, when we got to EVO, they weren't actually showing this cabinet. What they wanted to do is they wanted to focus their attention on Marvel vs. Capcom 2, because they had already released Street Fighter a couple of times with Big Blue and the Legacy Edition and then the original one. So they've done it many times. Wasn't going to be a focus at EVO last year. But Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was. It was that whole freed MVC2 movement. They were showing off the cabinet. It wasn't available yet. And there were many people in the community there, Moat and some others as well, Bekongs, that were hands-on with this thing prior to its launch. So that was last year, 2022. Now, a year later, they're at EVO again. What are we going to see this year? So Justin Console Kids, we know we haven't been seeing a lot of streams from him until yesterday for a while. He took like a month or two off. But before he did that, he was pushing this Street Fighter Pro cabinet. You may have seen this on his live streams. This is a look at the Street Fighter Pro, which he was saying was going to be a Champion Edition Street Fighter 2 Pro. Now, is that going to happen? He was pushing this several months ago. So did that continue all the way to now? And this is indeed what we're getting. My thought is, instead of doing another rehash or another, just throw a PCB in a bigger cabinet like we've seen, you know, with other ones like the NBA, what was it? The NBA Jam Deluxe, you know, basically getting the same exact chips or the same exact PCB. Same with the Kith Edition. We're getting the same PCB, just a different cabinet design, which that's what this would be. They would basically probably throw in the Big Blue, or they would throw in the Yoga Flame PCB into this and call it a Pro. Hopefully they don't. I'm hoping they bring us Street Fighter 3. They bring us Third Strike. And they bring it in ideally, and you guys have probably seen my video on Street Fighter 3 I did several months ago, do all of the games, Alpha. If you've seen that collection on the Switch, the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, they literally could just take a port of that, throw it on an Arcade1up PCB, and it would give us Third Strike. It would give us everything we want. And it would be very simple, you know, use this kind of dynamo design if you do the Pro, and give us a Third Strike marquee, slap a Third Strike logo on the side of it. Just do it very basic. It doesn't have to be, you know, this extravagant artwork or anything like that, like Yoga Flame and Shinku was. Just make it look authentic. And the good thing about these Street Fighter cabinets, and especially when you get into like the late 90s ones, they're very basic and they're very easy to replicate as far as the artwork. It's just some logos and stuff. So I think they just, you know, make it easy. Don't overthink things, and give the people, give the community and what we want. And that's going to be Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. And let's see here kind of what some people have said about this so far. Stardust says, are these going to be numbered? You may have been talking about the 50th. I'm not sure on as far as the Atari 50th, if these are going to be limited. Very well may be. Mystery and Cutter saying, damn it, moderated chat. He must have been trying to send over a link or something and it didn't go through. Stardust says, I wonder how many they will make. Let's see if we got any discussion here on Street Fighter. Jason M, he says no other XLs other than Pac. John D said one XL this year. Okay, so if you know, Jason, we're not getting an XL, then this slide here is going to hold up. It'll either be a Pro or it'll be a Deluxe if that's the case. I am hoping we get a Pro. And if not, it's just going to be the same old Deluxe form factor we've been seeing with Street Fighter on it. And Goofyfoot, he's saying, and it's still a work in progress. Street Fighter's 35th anniversary. Yeah, that was my idea. Let's just get that 35th anniversary game that we have on the Switch, just port it onto the PCB of the Arcade1up and you're set. Capcom could easily, allow them to do something like that. Mystery Encoder, don't talk about PCBs. And Step says, no one wants any more Champion Edition. That's all they have ever done, laughing out loud. Third Strike is the only title that they can get attention at EVO with. It's not SNK versus Capcom 2. And that brings up a good point. And I like when Steps, she puts her thoughts in, or she gives us, a comment or two when it comes to these fighting games, especially, because this is something she knows very well. She is very, very involved in the fighting game community. She runs fighting game tournaments, and I'll tell you, she's right on, right? If we get a Champion Edition, it's going to just be the same thing. It's going to be another rehash. Yeah, let's say it's a Pro. Let's say it's a bigger cabinet design. We're going to be happy with that. But as soon as we turn it on and we see that same menu, we see that same games list we've been seeing year after year, it's not going to hit the same way it would if they turn it on and we have Third Strike on there, or we have Street Fighter Alpha on there. And they can kind of do, and as long as they're upfront and they're honest with us, Marvel vs. Capcom took a long time to get that game online. That's fine with this. If Third Strike's not online when it releases, that's okay. If Alpha's not online when it releases, that's fine too. Just let the community, let the customers know these games are not online playable. They are available. You can play them in single player, or you can play local, 2-player, but you cannot play online. That is okay. Just give us the games right now. That's what we want. We want a new Street Fighter cabinet, but we also want new games. We want Street Fighter 3. We want Alpha. Jason M says the issue is that it's 1997 and arcades were dying. What's the total nostalgia sales would you get off of this as opposed to putting back out Street Fighter 2 original? And that brings up a good point as well, Jason. So with this cabinet, with a Street Fighter 3 cabinet or an Alpha cabinet, that's when you're going after that EVO group, right? The people that are fighting in the EVO Championship Series. Those are the customers you want. Those are the ones that look at Arcade1up as a toy, or they look at it as, oh, I would buy it for the look of it, but I would never actually play in a tournament, or I would never play competitively against someone else on an Arcade1up. They want to go after that group, and they could do that if they could bring some of these titles out and then work on them and perfect them. They're doing that with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's not quite there online, but they're working on it, and they're progressing. John Phillips, he has said, does someone else have a Street Fighter Alpha license since Arcade1up still hasn't made the cab yet? And I don't believe there are anyone else out there that has the license other than Arcade1up as far as like a home arcade to do these Capcom titles. John D came from Capcom, so he's pretty much got a grip on them as far as a license. And I couldn't see anyone else like a competitor out there doing a Street Fighter or a Capcom cabinet and compete with them. I just couldn't see it. Kevgret saying, Steps Gaming, there is no need at all, especially with the Switch. It's cheaper and it has better online. 1UP is not doing anything innovative. So that's where we're at with this. We'll see what happens, guys, on Thursday with EVO, what we're going to get. It's going to be huge news. We heard Travis MCP say tonight on BKong's stream that what's going to happen at EVO is going to be huge. It's going to make him a very busy person this week, and he's already kind of preparing for it because of how big this news is going to be. So are we going to get a Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition Pro? I would say that's pretty big news. But if we get a Street Fighter 3 or we get a Street Fighter Alpha, whether it be a deluxe or a pro, that's huge news. And that's the feeling I got from Travis MCP is we're going to get huge news at EVO. So if I had to guess and I had to put my money on it, we're getting Street Fighter 3 or we're getting Street Fighter Alpha or we're getting both on one cabinet. That's my guess. But I am going to cover myself and say it could be CE. We're getting a Street Fighter cabinet. Let me put it that way. 100% we're getting a Street Fighter cabinet at EVO. It only makes sense. We've gotten MK. We've gotten all these deluxe cabinets, Big Buck. What else? NBA Jam. Tons of deluxe cabinets. But there's been one that we haven't gotten that they've done a lot of, which is Capcom and Street Fighter. And we haven't seen that yet. So I won't beat a dead horse on that anymore because it's just a few days away. I just wanted to let you guys know what to expect. Let's look here next, and we're going to get into some Time Crisis. Mystery Encoder saying, meh, he's not too excited about Street Fighter. It doesn't sound like. Papa Brad says the art was usually a sticker and a marquee. Very simple, very easy. Don't overthink it. Arcade1up. This is something simple that you could do. It also looks like we had someone was gifted a membership by Carl O. So that's really cool. Thank you, Carl O, for gifting those memberships. And Step says here, if it's big news, then it's CVS2, just like my prediction video with Kong and UAG. So yes, so SNK, right? I want to go back to this comment you had because before we get into Time Crisis, I want to discuss the SNK, the Capcom versus SNK. Where was that comment? Let's see here, Steps. It may not even be important to bring it back up, but she had mentioned SNK, right? Street Fighter versus SNK cabinet coming. And we've heard speculation on this before. I just don't think we're getting SNK. I had a really good thought on that too. It was last week or the middle of this week. I had a really good thought on why we're not getting SNK this year and why that's going to be next year or maybe the year after that. And you know what? I'm drawing a blank right now. But I had a really good thought, I promise you, on SNK and why we're not getting it. Not likely. I know you think it may happen, and I know you made that video, Steps, on SNK. I just don't think we're getting it. And I think it may have something to do with the MVSX, some situation with that. I'll have to come out with a video, or maybe next live stream next week, I'll follow up on that SNK thought and why we're not getting it. But let's get into some Time Crisis. So, guys, last week we got and this was on the live stream last week where we covered this leak and what it's going to look like. And I just want to kind of go back over that real quick and just show you how close they have gotten to this design on the Time Crisis and how well they've done. It's, not perfect. It's not going to be exactly what we want because this is a home arcade version. It's a 3/4 scale. It's got to fit in a box on a shelf at a retailer like Best Buy or Walmart. So they got to make it fit in those dimensions, but they've done a really good job. Just looking back on it, I think that they've done about the best job that they can do within the capabilities they have. But we got some new news this week. So we got this FCC filing, and this was posted on YouTube on just 3 days ago because I just pulled this screen today. FCC filing for Time Crisis Deluxe now posted. So this is it up close. I'd also made a community post on this as well. But we see right up there at the top, Time Crisis Deluxe Edition, FCC filing. So we now know, we asked, was Time Crisis going to be an XL? Was it going to be a Pro? Was this leaked image we saw, was this a bigger design than the Deluxe? And we had some thought that it could be, right? And we had even heard on 19K Fox, he was really getting into, the dimensions on this thing and what exactly it was going to be. Well, now we know it's a Deluxe. So it's going to be around that 61 inches high or tall, 61 inches tall. Those kind of the same dimensions we're seeing with the other Deluxe cabinets. And that's also meaning that this is probably going to be at retailers. So it'll be easy to find. They're probably going to produce a lot of these. And normally these FCC filings follow with the bill of lading. So the shipments will hit port side probably here very soon. I can't say exactly when, if it'll be 2 or 3 weeks or a month from now, but it's going to be probably within the next month. These will probably start to hit shores. And then shortly after that, a month or two after that, we'll be able to purchase them. And I had said November was the date we could go purchase our Time Crisis. And it's still looking like that's going to be real, and that's going to be an accurate prediction on a November release for Time Crisis. And then we just got this more information. It's a deluxe. And we also see the Wheel of Fortune Casino K Deluxe below that. All these others we've known about. But that was some new news on this Time Crisis cabinet. So I wanted to make mention of it. Biggie D is good at speculating. I've had some really good, and I've got some slides here I'm going to go through later on some predictions and where I can back that up. Devil Waldo says we need a TMNT Deluxe. I think that would be a good one. Why haven't we gotten a TMT version of the Deluxe yet? I'm sure it's coming. Matt Astra Gaming says, I'm getting a brain MRI tomorrow. Not to brag, but I may come home with superpowers if it malfunctions. So good luck with the MRI tomorrow. I think I've gotten one of those done before. They're not that bad. You get in this big machine, I think, and it takes a little while for them to image you and all that. But maybe it's a little worse than what I'm remembering what I did. So you let me know, Matt Astra. Is this a real big deal, that what you're doing tomorrow? Papa Brad says SNL is not playing ball. Oh, SNK would be an XL. Papa Brad saying SNK not playing ball. Yeah, I hate that I can't remember my thought on why I had already decided SNK is not happening this week. Andrews Clay Creations and More says, hey, Biggie, sorry to change the subject, but did you get the message I sent you through YouTube? And I don't know if I got that, Andrew. I don't even know if I can get messages through YouTube. If you're talking about my contact form in the upper right of my homepage on my YouTube channel, that goes to an external website, which is my website, and there is a contact form on there. And I did check those emails about a week or two ago, but I haven't checked them since. So if that's where you sent the message, let me know, and I'll go back and I'll check those this evening and look for that one. But I do have that contact form on the website if you need it. And Jason M saying Ridge Crisis. So that's where we're at. We've been talking Time Crisis enough. I don't want to waste more time on it tonight than we have to. I just wanted to let you guys know about that FCC filing, because that's just, as that news comes in, I'm going to discuss it and let you guys know about it. Now we're getting into some other pretty interesting stuff. And just more talk on Arcade1up. Tonight's all about Arcade1up because there's just so much news and so much to talk about. And this was Console Kits. He did an interview at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you want to go check out Console Kits, I'll put in the description after the live stream. I'll put a link to this so you guys can see it. But I basically pulled a clip from this, and you guys probably, if you've watched this, you probably already know what I'm talking about or what I'm going to discuss. But let's go ahead and pull up this clip.
That's pretty cool. Now, I'm wondering, because, I like the business side of Arcade1up, or just following it, right? With iArcade, their model was you would purchase games a la carte.
Sure.
And with them no longer being in the game, is that something Arcade1up is considering getting into, or is that not a model? Like, what do you think of that?
We're definitely considering it, and I think it'll happen probably sooner than later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the reason that we hadn't considered it before is because to have a model where you're adding games or monetizing on extra games, you really have to have a huge install base, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so like Steam, you put a game on Steam, they got millions and millions of people to serve the game to and market to. We just passed 4 million cabinets.
Oh, really? Okay,
right?
That's
so
4 million.
We just passed 4 million cabinets. No, I think it's time that we should start considering. Yeah, it's a good business model for for adding extra games. And I think you should see that probably in 2024.
Okay,
I would think, but that's the plan. Like, but when we only had 1 million, out there that was connected. I mean, when you talk to licensors, they don't see the benefit just yet. But now I think we're getting to that point. I always thought like 5 million cabinets would have been, the right number, then we can take it more seriously.
Right.
But even outside of a business sense, I think people are wanting to add more games, even if it doesn't make too much financial sense. And so I would imagine maybe 2024 we see something like that. Yeah.
Now,
Okay, guys. So what he is discussing there are the digital downloads. But before we get into that subject, I saw a couple of chats here on the MVSX, and that was my thought on the SNK. I don't know if you guys remember back, there was an Instagram post or a Twitter post that had an MVSX in the picture, and it was just like an image of someone's game room. But I think there was some meaning behind that. And I think, MVSX, they're going to hold that SNK license. That's what's going to make it difficult for them to do a SNK or Capcom versus SNK cabinet because of that, right? Because they had that license. But also, I think, and this is just like my gut feeling, I think with that post, there was some meaning behind that Instagram or that Twitter post that had that MVSX in it. And I think the two are actually possibly working together now on something. And I think that relationship or whatever they're doing is just getting going. It's just in the infancy stage right now. So that's what led me to believe that if we're going to get an SNK fighting cabinet from Arcade1up, it's going to happen in 2024 or 2025. It's not happening this week or next week. So that's my thought on that. And I'm glad you guys brought that back up, because just seeing these chats on the MVSX has brought that thought back for me. But I want to get into this John D. San Diego Comic-Con interview. So he had basically talked about digital downloads. Now, digital downloads are nothing new to this channel in what I've been discussing as far as home arcade. If you guys look back on my channel last year, John D's been discussing digital downloads for a very long time. Now, he went away from it, and he hasn't talked about it in a very long time. It's probably been 7 or 8 months since he's even mentioned it. It was, I think the last time we heard about it was when he did that couch interview with B-Kongs, the party that they did at his office, the office party. I think that was the last time we heard him mention digital downloads. But then we got a pretty sure, he was pretty upfront and pretty blunt with us about digital downloads are probably going to happen, and they're probably going to happen next year. They're going to come sooner than later. And so this wasn't new, but it was new to hear him talk about it with so much confidence, kind of letting us know this is going to happen, and it's just a matter of time. And, so this graphic right here we're actually looking at, digital download, was something I had created 7-8 months ago. But it basically is an idea of where we can log into any of our online enabled cabinets. So like, for instance, my Miss Pac-Man cabinet or my Killer Instinct cabinet, they're both online compatible. They can receive updates. Essentially what Arcade1up could do is they could send out an update to all our machines that would then load in a store where we could download games that they would make available to us. Now, a lot of people have said, well, this will never work. We'll never be able to, on a, let's say a Miss Pac-Man play, a fighting game, there's not enough buttons. Well, like on a Miss Pac-Man, they're only going to make the games available that can play on that cabinet's game deck available to that cabinet. So like when you update your cabinet, it's going to update your store for the Miss Pac-Man. So like the Miss Pac-Man will have its store. My Killer Instinct will have its own store because of the button layout. Now, where it gets tricky is when people start modding their game decks and things like that. How is all that going to work? But that's not really their problem, because they only have to support what they're creating, which is like the stock parts, right? And it's definitely doable. It's definitely something that they're discussing, and that it sounds like it's probably going to happen. I think it needs to happen. Arcade1up has to grow. I mean, they're obviously growing. He said they've sold 4 million. They have 4 million customers, or they've sold 4 million cabinets. I don't know which one it is, one or the other. But it's a lot of cabinets and a lot of customers now. So now they're in that position where they're not a huge company, but they're no longer a startup. They have to grow, and they have to branch out, and they have to be successful. This is one way that they can do it. And they can start on a limited very limited scale with, one or two games, like have a very small store where like if I have a Miss Pac-Man, maybe I could go in and download, let's say, an Atari game or something onto that cabinet. And the licensing, people are saying it gets difficult with the licensing because my cabinet will have Miss Pac-Man. How am I going to have an Atari game on my Pac-Man cabinet? But that's, that's all the details that John D is really good at. He's really good at these licensing deals and getting them signed and getting them, to where they can make this stuff happen. So this is his specialty. This is what he is proven to be a master at, is licensing deals and getting this stuff to happen. And if he's saying it, it's coming right from his mouth. He's being very clear about it. He's saying it's going to happen next year. I'm just kind of showing you guys, will it happen? Yes, it's going to happen. How is it going to happen? You have a Miss Pac-Man. You're going to be limited to only games that you can play on a Miss Pac-Man cabinet. You will only be able to download those games that will play on a Miss Pac-Man cabinet on that Miss Pac-Man. Now, on my Killer Instinct, I'll have more games available to me. I'll have a 12-button layout. So then I could potentially download a online version of Street Fighter where I can play Street Fighter online without having to go buy a brand new Street Fighter cabinet. Or I could buy Mortal Kombat, an online version of Mortal Kombat, and play it on my Killer Instinct. I don't have to go out and buy a Mortal Kombat cabinet. And we've been saying it for a couple of years now. We're running out of room. We can't go out and we can't run out and buy every cabinet. But we're still fans of Arcade1up. We're still going to be interested in them, even though we can't buy all of them. Well, with this idea, we can kind of buy everything. We can buy all the games that we want and have a limited amount of cabinets. It's the future. This is the future. They're going to keep doing what they've been doing, but they got to branch off. They got to do new things. And this is something new that you're going to start seeing next year, are these digital downloads. Now, something else I wanted to mention is that this isn't anything that they're new to either. A lot of people think, oh, they've never done anything like this. I was watching the Rexer show last night, it was, and Kevgret, I see him in the chat. He was saying like this, they can't do it. There's no way. They're already doing it. They're doing it on the Infinity Game Board. It's just that on the Infinity Game Board, their downloadable paid games are these board games. Instead of board games, they're going to be arcade games. That's the only difference, right? They're going to be arcade games. Okay, so that's where we're at with this. Let's look here at some of the comments on the digital downloads, because this is some pretty big news for us. I was really excited about it last year, but just to hear it again. Also, Jason M., he's saying here on the SNK, he says they could do a 2024 SNK cabinet, which is a theme fighter, but you can download a lot more SNK games. Yeah, so this SNK stuff is next year, guys. I mean, I could always be wrong. I don't know the future. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. I'm just giving you my thoughts, and I'm a human. I could be wrong, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be SNK at EVO this week. Kevgret says, good luck playing Street Fighter on a Mortal Kombat Legacy. And you're right. The button layout, right? It's going to be all different. You're on a Mortal Kombat. You're trying to play Street Fighter, but at least we can play it. And then we can always modify our game decks later, hopefully, and we have those options. But it gives us options. That's what we want. We don't want to be limited to have to go out and buy a brand new cabinet just because I want to play Street Fighter. If I have Killer Instinct, I could play Street Fighter online on my Killer Instinct. It's online compatible. It has everything I need. It just doesn't have the game or the software or the UI or the store or any of the things that Arcade1up is going to create and give us. Brooklyn Miss, he says, don't you need storage space? That's a good question as well. I had thought about this. I know a lot of these PCBs are going to have USB inputs or micro USB inputs or USB-C even, I think on some of them. So there are maybe are going to be external storage options. And there is limited storage on the onboard PCB. You guys look at the Simpsons cabinet. I've been seeing people put RetroArch and put in lots of games, 10, 15. I think I even saw a 60-in-1 Simpsons cabinet the other day, which was made just using the stock hardware, just side-loading games onto the stock PCB. So it does have internal storage as well. Mystery Encoder says there's not enough space on the stock cabinet. And you're right, certain games you're going to be run out of room for. So they'll have to come up with some type of external storage options for us. Mystery Encoder says the OS is read-only. And Step says some of the cabinets have USBs, but it's possible everyone has to buy the 2024 model. And that's another thought, is maybe they don't make us, or they don't allow us to use our previous cabinets. They make us go buy a new cabinet, but they put in the fine print, this one will have the availability of a game, a store where we can purchase games. And then future cabinets will have that distinction or that indication that says you can download games on this cabinet, where they give us increased storage and other ways we can increase our storage. KevGrit says exactly, the store will not be on the legacy cabinets. I still think we're going to get it on our original cabinets. I don't think they're going to leave all these other cabinets behind. That's lost money. I think they're going to still, it may be limited on the games we can download for the older cabinets to like the 80s games that take up no space at all, but they're going to try to make every dollar, every cent that they can. I promise you that. Mystery Encoder says Steps Gaming, even then USB storage doesn't mount without special hacks. So it's probably not going to happen on the existing cabinets. And we'll see. I've seen those Simpsons cabinets with 60 games on them now. So I know it's possible. And especially if they're allowing it and they're creating it, it's definitely possible. Brooklyn Menace says if they do it, will be for a few new cabs that they have some type of storage, and you will only be able to buy certain games depending on the cabinet. And one more Mystery Coder message here before I go on to our next subject. He says Android cabinets are different, way different. So yeah, you have certain ones that are Android, and you can probably tell us, Mystery Encoder, are all the Arcade1ups running Android, or only certain cabinets running Android? Hayden Dew says they are and have the micro SD card in the PCB. So yeah, some of these already have the micro SD card for the PCB, which makes it even easier. Andy's Game Room is here. Good to see you, Andy. I saw you on YouTube. I think you had a video or a live stream or something this week. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. So let's get in here next to MVC2. So this thumbnail we're looking at here in the upper left is a thumbnail that I had made for a online update. And this online update was back in February of 2023. It was actually February 22nd, 2023. So it was almost 6 months ago that we got this online update. And what this online update did is it improved the online, supposedly made it playable online where people could compete on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. However, we only got one stage. So that was kind of a downer, right? Over these last 6 months, as everyone was happy that we finally got to be able to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online, but we only got one stage. So here we can see it was February 3rd, 2023 that I had posted that online update video. Now, 9 days ago, so this is almost a half a year later, I had posted this community post 9 days ago. It said Arcade1up is heavily promoting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 right now, and I'm thinking we're going to get an improved online experience update coming soon. Now, this was my gut. This was totally my gut. I had no inside information. I had not talked to anyone that told me anything. I just thought of something that made sense, and I went with it. And I do this a lot. And a lot of people tell me not to do these types of things because it's going to come back to bite me later. But it's yet to do so. And I'm telling you, I'm not perfect, so it probably will. But I'm going to continue to do these types of things because I want to be ahead of the game. I want to be ahead of the curve on a lot of this stuff because that's what's going to make my channel successful. And that's what's going to make me stand apart from a lot of these other content creators that you guys watch in the home arcade space. So I'm going to continue to do these things. And I was right. because only 3 days later, it was about 3 days later, I talked to Tech Buzz, who had talked to Travis MCP. This was Tuesday night after his game time stream, or it may have been Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning. Tech Buzz had told me he had talked to Travis MCP, and he had also made a community post letting everyone know that there's an update coming on Friday. So that's when I had made this community post. Sounds like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is getting an online update. Check your cabinets, make sure they're connected for the Friday update. When I posted this, they ended up pushing the update the following day on a Wednesday or Thursday to get it out there even a little bit sooner to us. This is the update. So I wanted to go through this with you guys, and keep in mind that the big part about this update was the stages. We were only getting one stage. So you might have seen this meme that was going around when the Kith edition came out, or was announced, where it was basically the meme was Kith edition. You know, we're getting a new cabinet, right? New look, same online stage. That was the joke. And when I saw this joke, it was actually a day after I had made this post. So I didn't actually use this, community where everybody was kind of in agreement in the community that it really sucks that we're getting a brand new cabinet, but we're not getting any new online experience, no online update, same stage, right? And it actually came to fruition. We got the update right here, 3 days later. But here's what it looks like. And the big part about this, and the reason I had mentioned this meme, was the one online stage. Now we're getting all stages. So all your stages are now playable online. And that's the big win for this update, is that if someone goes out and they buy Marvel vs. Capcom 2 today, or they buy the Kith edition, they bring it home, they hook it up, they go to play online, they may not even have known this whole time they weren't able to play online, or they were only able to play with one stage. They may be completely oblivious to that, because when they turn it on and they update it, now they've got all the stages. So they're getting the best of the best, where we've been dealing with for the last year, having them create all this, right? And so this is the fixes that they've given us. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online, stages are not random. Online, rage quitting will not give a loss and win to anybody. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online, username does not automatically disappear from the online lobby via powering off cabinet. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 attract mode will start at character select screen. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 relaunching MVC2 will start player at the character select screen automatically. Launching MVC2 will show a short freeze at character select screen. Only 3 wins and 3 losses will be recorded once you passed 4 games. Rage quitting does not update wins and losses. Local high scores saving is not available. Online spectating does not work. So they're just basically telling you, we still don't have that online spectating working. So they're upfront with us. It's same with this local high score. They're very blunt, upfront, and that's what we've asked for. They're not sugarcoating anything. They're not, misleading us in any way like they have in the past. They've learned their lesson. Rage quit loss will not show to online lobby until player exit and comes back in. And MVC2 volume bar will come up randomly when playing MVC2. So these are fixes. So the local high score saving is not available is a fix. Online spectating does not work is a fix. Volume bar coming up randomly is a fix. So these are all fixes. They let us know it was a problem. It wasn't working. Now it works. So they've done a lot with this game. It's come a long way. We've got all the stages we want now. So we no longer have this meme. So things are coming along. Now I've heard a lot of complaints that it's still not up to par for, tournaments, for, true competition. But at least we're getting a fun experience on our arcade cabinets now. And it's online, and we're getting all the stages. That's, enough, I think, for now. I did see Rexer join us. I'm interested to see what his comment was here. He says, what happened to Biggie D? The Darth Biggie now on this podcast. And so I have been very critical of Arcade1up in the past. I have not been so critical lately of them because they've actually been doing some really good things. They've been creating a lot of really good new stuff for us. They've been fixing a lot of things that we've been complaining about. So you haven't been hearing a lot of, me being critical of them because they've been doing a lot of positive things. But I will if it's needed or it's necessary or I feel it's warranted. Mystery Encoder says that had zero effect or effort to fix. So Mystery Encoder, he does this kind of stuff on the side. I don't know if he does it for a living also, but he codes and creates code. And basically he's saying that all these fixes took very little to no work to do. And, I don't really know, what you guys do behind the scenes, but, that very well could be, this could just be something they threw out there and put little effort in, and we're just kind of overthinking it, overanalyzing it, that they actually did something for us. Andy's Game Room says, I don't have the cab. It is really any better. So I don't have the cab yet either, but I do think it is better. I would be very reluctant to buy Marvel vs. Capcom 2 if I knew the online only had one stage. Now knowing that I could play it online with all the stages, I'm much more likely to buy it. Now, if you guys know me, I don't pay full price for cabinets. There could be some sales on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We got a lot of inventory now. They're making more of them. So when Black Friday rolls around, if I could get Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for $3.99 or $3.50, shoot, I'd probably do it. So, I may end up buying Marvel vs. Capcom 2 if the price is right. Now, the next thing I want to get into, guys, is going to be this Pac-Man XL. So there's a lot of announcements this week. There's a lot of news, Arcade1up news, and one of them was this Pac-Man XL. Now, I had heard about this Pac-Man XL when I had woken up. I believe it was Tuesday morning. So we watched Michael B stream Monday evening, or maybe he had his Tuesday evening this week. I can't even remember now. But it was that following morning after his live stream, because he didn't discuss this Pac-Man XL, I don't think, on that live stream. But he did make a video that morning, and I had woken up to the video. It was already made with the thumbnail, and he was showing off this new Pac-Man XL. And this is the image of what it looked like. Now, I had commented on this. Also, P-Dubs, I think, made a short on it. I commented on his with the same thing, basically saying, why does it have a white background? Because Michael B said this was found in a Washington, I believe around the Seattle area, in a Costco. And if you guys remember, guys, I talked about Costco in a live stream a week or two ago and said some big things were going to be coming to Costco soon in regards to Arcade1up. Well, this was part of it. And so this is available at a Costco in the Washington area. Pac-Man XL, 66 inches tall, same PCB as the deluxe cabinet. And it looks just like the deluxe cabinet. And it had this background that was cut out. Why wouldn't Michael B post the picture with the background? Or why would the person that sent him this picture remove the background prior to sending it? Those were the thoughts I had. And that led me to think, well, this looks just like the deluxe. It looks identical to the deluxe cabinet. So my initial thought, well, this is a fake, or it could be a fake. So I asked them, why did they remove it? And then it kind of people started asking, is this fake? I've since looked at this a little more closely, comparing it to the Pac-Man Deluxe, the one that's at Best Buy. And if you guys look at that Arcade1up logo that's right above the coin door, that's a giveaway on it. It does look a little bit different on the 3/4 scale Pac-Man Deluxe. The Arcade1up logo is a little bit higher up, closer to the game deck on that one. You can see it a little bit lower. So that is a giveaway. This is real. Also, it has the light up buttons and a little bit bigger marquee. You can see it is bigger. They call it a jumbo marquee. So this is nice. I mean, I like to see XLs. We've all been wanting XLs and more XLs of cabinets that we already own. So it is good to see this. Now, I wasn't excited about buying this one. I was excited about buying other XLs that may be coming in the future. So I had I'd done a poll. So let's bring up this poll. And before we get into that poll, I wanted to show you this screenshot. This is one that I had pulled from Arcade1up Facebook group, Glenn's original group. And this is someone that was responding and commenting on this leak whenever it was posted that day, that morning. He works for Kotsko. He pulled it up in the system for us and verified it is real. This is the item number. This is it, Pac-Man XL Arcade. However, there's none in stock. So technically it is available. If you were to go to a Kotsko and they had it on the floor or they had it in the back, you could purchase this cabinet. They could sell it to you today if they had it in stock. The problem is you're not going to find them in stock. They're rare. There's probably only a few out there in the whole country right now. So good luck finding one. But here in a couple months, these are going to start rolling in. And I'm sure there's going to be more than enough stock where you could pretty much get them if you want them. This isn't like a pre-order item or anything like that. And so I'd run a poll. I kind of wanted to get a gauge on everyone else because my thought was I'm not interested in this. I don't want another Pac-Man. We've seen way too many Pac-Mans over the years. So I wanted to get an idea of what everyone else was thinking, and it kind of seems like everybody else is on the same page as me. And here it is. We actually got a pretty good response on this, 69 votes. But it says 39% said, yes, it means more XLs are coming. And that was my vote. I want to see what other XLs we're going to get. So almost half voted that way. Are we going to get the Street Fighter XL? Or are we going to get a Mortal Kombat XL? Are we going to get, a Galaga XL? There's many out there we would want or could get. I mean, pretty much any cabinet, right, that we have, we would be interested or would like to see an XL of that. So that's what majority of people are interested in. But more than half voted that they're just tired of Pac-Man. They're that tired of Pac-Man that they're not even really interested in the XLs that are coming. They're so disinterested in this Pac-Man that they just want to say they're tired of it. And that was more than half of these 69 votes. And you guys got to keep in mind too, I'm like primarily an Arcade1up channel with, at games and home arcade content, and then some console gaming content in there as well, sprinkled in. So this is a really good gauge of where we're at with this Pac-Man XL. People are not excited about it. Some people don't even like the design of the XL. And we only had 1% said they had a Pac-Man and they were waiting for a version like this. So not very many out there that were even interested in upgrading. And nobody, I'm sorry. So nobody was interested in upgrading. So like I have my Miss Pac-Man. Do I want to upgrade to a Pac-Man XL? Nobody was in that situation. But there was 1% that said they're waiting for the right Pac-Man. So they've never owned one at all. They were just waiting for the right one to come around and they were going to get that one. And that 1% that voted that way are going to probably get this. So that just kind of gives you an idea and a picture of where we're at with our Pac-Man XL. Now, this is okay, right? If we see results like this and we're Arcade1up and we're reading these results, it's okay because they're not selling to us. They're selling to the retailers. And if the retailers want Pac-Man, then they're going to give them Pac-Man. And if the retailers believe that they're going to sell them, that's all that matters. It's not Arcade1up's. They don't care. Once they sell it to the retailer and the retailer has it, it's theirs. They can clearance them out. It's up to them. It's theirs to sell now. So it's out of Arcade1up's hands at that point. I think there are some instances where they have some contracts, though, where if they don't sell out and they have leftover inventory, it goes back to Arcade1up. But I don't think that happens often. I think, like for this Pac-Man XL, it's like a Kotsko exclusive. It's looking like, they have an order that they place. They deliver that order to Kotsko, and then they're done with that contract or whatever agreement they had on this. And then a year or two from now, we may see these for $300 on clearance at Kotsko. And that would be up to Kotsko to do that. Jason M says, yes. Or he goes, have I ever told you about the tragedy of Darth Jong the Wise? Carlo says, Rexer is a genius and one of the funniest people on YouTube. I do love Rexer. He's a great channel to watch. He's a fresh breath of fresh air in our community because he gives us a different look and a different. If we didn't have Rexer, we would probably be hearing the same thing every week, and everybody would be pretty much saying about the same thing. Rexer is so different from everyone else; it really mixes things up, and it also gives us as content creators a different perspective to allow us to look at things differently as well. So I appreciate and I like to get Rexer's input and his opinion on a lot of this stuff, even if I don't agree with it. Stupid Fat Hobbit says Arcade1up needs to release alarm clocks. Their releases this year have been putting me to sleep. That's pretty funny, Stupid Fat Hobbit. But we're about to wake up, right? We're very close to the alarm going off because we've got all these big releases coming. We've got the huge news at EVO, which I still haven't bought a Street Fighter cabinet, so I'm very interested in what's going to happen with that. We've got Time Crisis, and then we've got the new chipset, and we've got these new digital downloads. So it's about to really ramp up. I mean, it's been ramping up already, but it hasn't been necessarily the ramp up of releases we want to see, right? It's a lot of re-releases with Buck Hunter and NBA Jam and Pac-Man. Well, it's now about to ramp up into new releases and new products, ones we've never seen before. So that's the really exciting stuff. This is just before, the calm before the storm, I would say. The Rexer Show says the dark side clouds everything, impossible to see the future. And Carlos says, I definitely prefer Rexer over KFB, and I'm not even going to mention what KFB is here. Jason M., Mystery Encoder, do not speak of he who walketh among the rows. And Bonose Tecmo, they milked the rebuys from this community already. Don't think most will rebuy anymore. Hopefully they've smartened up. And you're right. I don't think we're going to run out and rebuy this XL. There may be a content creator or two do a review on it. You may see a few in the community go out and buy it, but it's not, we can see from this poll, our enthusiasts aren't going to run out and buy this. Who's going to get this are those people that don't own Arcade1ups, or maybe they're a Pac-Man fan. They walk into Costco and they're like, oh, I really like the look of that. Or maybe they saw Pac-Man before and they didn't like the small Pac-Man, but they like the really big Pac-Man. It reminds them of a real arcade. So there are going to be sales made. There are going to be new customers made from this product. And Costco believes in it. That's why they ordered them. And Costco knows their customer. They have their marketing data. They have their analytics and all this stuff. Trust me, it's very well thought through. Costco pays their employees very well, so they know what they're doing. All right, so next thing I want to get into, guys, and this is going to close out the stream. I can't believe it. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm right on time at where I need to be to finish off the stream in an hour and a half. We've just got these closing thoughts I want to go through. So this is our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I've hit 1,000, so I'm officially there, guys. I am where I need to be to run my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And I was going to plan on doing it this evening, or at least getting it going this evening. But I really didn't plan far enough in ahead, and I didn't give everyone out there enough notice for the stream tonight. And I want to make it fair for everyone. I want everyone to have the ability to participate, have enough notice to, change their schedule if they want to, all those types of things. So I'm going to speak about it tonight. I'm going to make a community post about it tomorrow and give everybody the information I'm giving you now on a community post. And I may make a short or a video. We'll see how much time I have. But I'm definitely going to get a written community post out in addition to what I'm telling you right now on live on air. Now, a lot of this discussion I want to do live on air. Any type of giveaway stuff I want to do live on air because I want it to be full transparency. And I don't want what happened with Your Average Gamer and that Arcade1up giveaway to happen, or even come close to happening with this, right? I want it to be, everyone to be on the same page. I want everyone to know that this has been fair and that everyone has an equal chance of winning this prize. And the prize is going to be a countercade. It's a 2-player countercade, and it's of your choice. Now, of the 2-player countercades, there's only 4. There's the Marvel Superheroes, there's the NBA Jam, the Mortal Kombat 2, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are not available. I have not been able to find them. If I'm able to find these, I will make those available. But right now, NBA Jam and Mortal Kombat 2 are the only 2 available. So you'll be able to have your choice of these 2 at the present moment. There'll be one winner out of these potentially up to 1,000 or more participants. Probably not going to be that many. We'll probably get 50 to 100 actually enter this contest, I imagine. Maybe I'll be surprised and we'll get hundreds of people enter this contest. But here's the rules. So you have to be a subscriber of the channel and you have to be in the live stream giveaway. So it's going to start next Sunday. So next Sunday, I'm going to have a live stream at my regular time, just like I'm doing today. And you're going to have to be present in that live stream and you're going to have to be a subscriber. And how I know you're a subscriber is you will have to be a subscriber in order to comment in the live chat. And I'm going to give a hashtag countercade or a hashtag Arcade1up. I haven't made up what the hashtag is going to be yet, but it's going to be a hashtag. And you're going to put that hashtag in the live chat that day, which is a week from today. So that's going to be, let's see here. Today's the 30th. So on the 6th of August, there is going to be a live stream at 7:15 Arizona, 10:15 Eastern on the 6th. You're going to be present in that live stream. I'm going to let everyone know at the beginning of the live stream. You're going to hashtag whatever it is in the chat. And during that hour and a half live stream, as long as you have chatted in the live chat with that hashtag, that is going to enter you into the contest. So the next day, I'm going to go through the replay of the live chat. I'm going to grab everyone's names who commented with that hashtag. I'm going to enter those into a wheel. And the following week, it may be its own dedicated live stream, or it may be the following Sunday during the regular live stream, but I'm going to let everyone know when that is. And I'm going to put all those names into a wheel, and live on air, I'm going to spin that wheel, and I'm going to pick the first winner. The first winner is the winner of the countercade. Now, that winner will have to email me through my contact form on my YouTube page, their address, and all the details. I'm also going to pick 2 more winners. Now, these 2 more winners are going to be the backups. So the second name I choose is going to be the backup for the winner. The third name I choose is going to be the backup for the backup. So they're basically the third in line. That way, if whoever wins doesn't contact me or doesn't provide me with an address, I have someone to fall back on. Now, the good news is that even if, let's say, the first place guy gives me his address and I send him the countercade, the person who got second and the person who got third are still going to win something. And what that's going to be is I just opened a store, an online store for merchandise, a Teespring store. And you guys can go to my webpage, go to the store tab. You can see my t-shirts, hats, beanies, and hoodies, and jackets, all that stuff. Has my logo on it, Arcade Gamers, all that stuff. I'm going to give away a t-shirt, which will be just like the entry-level cotton t-shirt. I think it's like $16.50. And I'll let you pick your color of choice from that t-shirt. And that'll be for the second and third place. So let's say you get second, you may potentially win the countercade, but if you don't, you're at least getting a t-shirt. Same with the third place. You may get the countercade if everything falls in place for you, but you're at least getting the t-shirt. That way you're winning something. And there's a total of 3 winners that way. So just look forward to that next Sunday. Just be in the live stream before it ends and know what the hashtag is and type that hashtag into the chat so you can be entered in. And then we'll select our names. Now, during the live stream giveaway, I've seen like I've seen many people like you have to be in that giveaway live stream. Let's say I spin the wheel and your name gets selected, but you're not actually in the chat that evening. That's okay. As long as you're entered in, that's okay. Just send me your address through email, later on that week, and we're good. You just have to be entered to win. And to be entered, you have to be in the live stream next Sunday. That's also why I'm selecting the backups. So that way you don't have to be in 2 live streams. You just have to make 1 to win. And that way also we can get some t-shirts out to some extra winners also. So that's what I've thought up, and hope everyone enjoys it. I hope you win. And it'll be a lot of fun to give this stuff away and to give back, because 1,000's a big accomplishment. It really is. The first 1,000, I think, for a YouTube channel is probably the hardest. Everything after that, you're just growing. But the first 1,000, it's like you're trying to get your feet under you, and you're trying to actually get it started. Like the channel's now started. Now I'm just working on growing it, where before 1,000, you're really not even, like, you are a channel, but you're not monetized. You really don't have all the tools at your disposal until you hit 1,000. And I'm now at that point. I have full access to all the tools I need now to become a professional YouTube channel, a source for information now. Monetized. I got the memberships. I've got the store. I've got everything I need to succeed and grow this channel now. So I appreciate you guys, and I'm really looking forward to giving back and showing you my appreciation for your support on my channel. So the last subject here for the end of the live stream is going to be this Game On Expo. So the Game On Expo is going to be coming up very soon. It's going to be August the 11th through the 13th. I'm going to be at this. P-Dubs is going to be at this. I think we're going to go together and hopefully collaborate on some content at the Game On Expo. And I know there's some viewers of the channel that live in the Arizona area as well. Mystery Encoder, as well as Atran Fanatic lives in the area. I've also got comments from many others out there. So let's meet up at Game On Expo. Use my contact form if you want to meet up or arrange and plan things out. But it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be pinball, arcades there. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. And we'll see what kind of videos and live streams I have coming from this event. But I just want to kind of give everyone a heads up. So it's Friday, August 11th, Saturday, August 12th, Sunday, August 13th. And these are the hours. And here's your address. So it's at the Phoenix Convention Center on 33 South 3rd Street in Phoenix, Arizona. And this will be my first time at Game On. I know P-Dubs went last year. He's really recommending it, really looking forward to it. So am I. And hope you guys have a good week this week. Got a lot of more information to follow up on. We've got EVO, like we heard with Travis. Be ready for EVO on Thursday, because we're going to get some major news. I mean, it's just going to be shocking probably what we're going to get, because we really have no idea. We really have no idea. We've got no leaks. We've got no inside information. Everything I've gone on tonight as far as this is just speculation, guesses, hunches on what I think is happening. But I'll tell you, I don't think we're getting SNK. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't think we're getting that. But we'll see steps. I hope we do. But you guys have a good start to your week and a good rest of the Sunday evening. I'll see everyone in the next live stream giveaway coming up. And you guys like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see everyone very soon. Bye-bye.